Hey crew, Zoe the Video Confidence Coach here, ready for this week's live stream, where, if I don't hit the mic, we'll be talking about jargon. So acronyms, words that you don't really understand the meaning of but mean something else entirely. That's what we're going to be talking about this week. So I have in front of me a long list of words and phrases that we use a lot in video marketing and SEO marketing and social marketing in general, and I will be going through with you what those words actually mean to help you break it down. And then I will be breaking these down into words that I can put up online in individual words and individual styles, so you can find out what each of the words mean. So if you have any comments in regards to your own words, if you've heard me use them in the live streams and videos and you're not sure what the word means, feel free to comment below or DM me if you feel unconfident in commenting below, and I will answer them for you live here. But if you're here on the rewatch squad, #rewatch squad, as in you're watching this after this goes live, that's all right. Feel free to comment below what your word is or what your phrase is, and I will make sure that I answer that in the comments instead. And what else have we got? I think I've actually done quite a strong welcome for a live stream for once. And all I'll also ask you guys to do is, if you know of anyone who's interested in this particular subject matter, or anyone who's interested in doing video marketing for their business, you either being a small business or a large business, make sure that you invite them to this stream, that you tag them using the @ symbol, or just share this live stream to your page. We are streaming currently to Facebook, a lot of different Facebook groups, YouTube, and what's the other one? Not LinkedIn. I should know. Twitch. Twitch is where I'm live streaming to. I remember. Yes, we'll remember and see how we go. So, like I said, if you have any comments about any of the words that you know or you heard me use or other professionals use in the industry use and you're not entirely sure what the words mean, feel free to just comment below and I'll make sure I answer them today. So I will check in about 10 minutes. So if I do get a bit sweaty or I do drink a lot during this live stream, I do apologize because it is a bit warm in here. It's been a warm day in Geelong, and I have to turn the air conditioner off because sound, and the air conditioner is right there. So yeah. Alright, lips still on? Yeah, they're on. Okay, you guys ready to go? So in regards to the themes that I've broken these words down into is more of pre-production, so stuff that you do before you start filming, production, stuff that you do while you're filming, and post-production. So I kind of broken down these general topics. Most of these words fit within these topics, but you use them throughout the process of filming, as well as when you're doing social media or when you're doing other types of work. All right, and we'll do that, and I'll make sure that we change our background like we did. I got a couple of DMs from you guys mentioning how you actually enjoyed the background changing whenever I changed like subject, or when last week we did myths. So I did myth number 1, and then like fiery flames came from behind me, and you guys like that change of aesthetic. So that's why we have the green screen. Well, we have the green screen for another reason, but we're going to use the green screen to our advantage, and we're going to be utilizing it for as much as we can. So if there's any ideas that you have that we can have a bit of fun with the green screen behind us, do let us know and we'll make sure we input it into our live streams. So we have the audio all up and hyped. Beautiful. Background's nice and futuristic because it's a tunnel. Okay, I'm going to stop now. All right. Like I said before, if you have any jargon or any words that you've heard me or any other professionals in my industry use, feel free to comment them below and I'll make sure I answer them in today's live stream. And again, if you're in the #rewatch squad, feel free to comment those words anyway, and I'll comment a reply back in the comments. All right, you guys ready to go? I am too. Oh, and make sure you share and tag anyone who would be interested in today's live stream. Okay, ready to go. All right, ready to see what my background is? Okay, ready? The word is customer avatar. So what is a custom avatar? So you may have heard me use it. We've got a couple of videos on our YouTube that is talking about what a customer avatar is. But a customer avatar is essentially a persona, what you envision your customer being. Let me do that whole thing again because I worded that up and I did it really poorly. So let's do that again, shall we? And I can do it again because it's live stream and you guys are just, you don't have to deal with it. And I promise I'll be a lot more articulate. The word is customer avatar. Well, it's more of a phrase. All right. The phrase is customer avatar. So a customer avatar, or also known as a customer persona, is the type of person your business helps, or your type of business, or the type of person your business serves. So I'm not talking broad demographics, as in we serve women between the ages of 20 to 30 who are wanting to have a baby. That's just like broad demographics. We're not talking about that. When it comes to customer avatars or customers personas, you and your business, through experience, come up with specific types of people that your business helps solve their problems. So say, for example, using the example we just used before about women between the ages of 20 and 30. Well, in a customer avatar or persona sense, that woman would be 26. She's in middle management, or she's approaching middle management, and she's wanting to have a baby. In that sense, and in those words, g'day guys, and in those words that I've used, you've been able to ascertain the type of level of education she must have, the type of money that she's currently getting in for herself if she's in middle management or approaching middle management in her job. And in that, you'll be able to ascertain a couple of things about her more than just the type of demographic she's in. So that type of information, and in customer avatars that you can see on our YouTube channel, that we go into a lot more detail of the type of persona or customer avatars that we have in our business. And we also teach how to create your own. But the reason that we have these customer avatars is so when you're creating content, when you're writing blog posts, when you're doing any sort of social media, you're able to pinpoint why you're doing that particular image or that particular post, and if your customer persona or customer avatar will like it. If they won't like it, then don't do it. But if this is something that's going to help them, is going to inform them and give them value, then you know you're on the right track. And for us personally, we update our customer avatars every 3 months because we pivot a little bit once we learn more about our customer avatar and the type of people we want to help and we want to serve. And I don't recommend that for every particular business, just because we're in a stage where we need to pivot to who we need to help, and we've got a couple of avatars that we work with to help serve them. So that's what I want to ask you. What is the type of person, to a little bit more detail than just the demographics, that you can know and that you use to help you create the content that's going to give them value? Cool. G'day, Justin Brown. Nice to see you. And g'day, Lyndall. Hey. Hope you like your post. I think we had beautiful selfie faces, by the way. All right, you guys ready for wording and phrasing number 2? All right. Okay. The phrase, customer journey. Okay, so, it's not moving. Oops. I think we might change the background because I think it's taking up a bit too much bandwidth, to tell you the truth. I'm currently looking at my options that I have on screen. Maybe let's do some orange bokeh. Yeah, I don't like the look of it. Even though I chose it, it's in my different ones that I have. Let's try golden streaks. I like the look of that. Let's do that then. So I'll change the background a bit and we'll go back to it. So, the phrase is customer journey. So your customer journey is the steps that your customer or your potential customer would take from being first introduced to your business to actually purchasing with you. What are the steps they're generally going to take to make that decision for you? And in regards to video marketing and in general marketing, being able to figure out those steps that people take, or those steps that intuitively, the steps that they intuitively take to purchase with your business. If you are able to know those steps ahead of time, you're able to create content that nurture people through that funnel, as in marketing terms, the funnel, that people at the top who are just like general passers-by of your business who maybe are not interested in purchasing from your business, as soon as you go further and further down the funnel, those people will jump out and, They won't take your time or resources. But as soon as you get down to that bottom end of the funnel, the tighter bit of the funnel, you'll be able to see the type of people that want to actually purchase from you. And that is the customer journey that you take them from that area at the top of the funnel all the way down to the end where they actually purchase from you. And for some of you who, say, for example, have products, that customer journey may seem quite simple in the sense that they get on our website, they click a product, they click the trolley, and then they check out and they pay us money. That is a very simplified customer journey, and it's not a true customer journey because that's not what people do. People research the hell out of your business. Before they make a decision, they look at reviews. They look at, if you're a specific product that's new to the market, for example, they do a heck of a lot of research before they even step foot on your website. And that's the same thing with services. People always check out like your reviews. They check out, YouTube videos, image blogs, whatever they want to or they like to consume to be able to get an idea of your product and service before they even step foot on your website. And then once they step foot on your website, they check around it, see what they like. They check a few items out, maybe check out your sales, those type of things. And the steps that I've just described to you is a customer journey. Now, not everyone is going to be taking that customer journey step by step by step by step, but the general steps that people are going to take, how can you make it easier for them? What type of content or value can you provide that makes that journey shorter and easier for them to be able to go, okay, I trust this brand wholeheartedly, give me my money and bring me the product or service. So what can you do for them to make that journey a lot easier? And for a lot of businesses out there, the old-fashioned way used to be, give us a call and we'll sit down and talk to you. And for a lot of businesses, that's still the case because face-to-face is very important. But if you're able to squash that time that it takes for someone to make a decision with you by, giving them videos, providing helpful content, or maybe providing them actually value-driven ethics as well. If you're able to provide that to them, they are actually more likely going to follow you and like you and probably purchase from your business again because they've had a great experience the first time from buying from you, but also because you helped supported them on their journey to be able to inform them on what is the right way to make the right decision for your business. And then they know to go back to you again because because your business is going to take care of them. So is your customer journey currently like that? And if so, congratulations, because a lot of the customer journeys out there are not that way. A lot of businesses don't think about that, which is perfectly fine. But if you want to get more business, you need to make that customer journey nice and easy to follow, especially for new customers. All right, guys, how are we going so far? I know we're 2 words in and I've got like 30 minutes. This is going to be fun. All right. So the next word. Okay. The term. All right. Words. Maybe I may need some more water. So the term. Hyper-relevant. So hyper-relevant, as you can probably imagine, hyper as in extreme and relevant as in something that relates closely to me. So when we say hyper-relevant in regards to video marketing, social media marketing, or marketing in general, we think about a piece of content or an image or even our value system that we have in our business. If it's hyper-relevant to a client, it means that that content or image or result is highly targeted at them or at the type of person that you want to serve. So when we say hyper-relevant, we mean it's extremely relevant to this person. It's, addressing their problem. It's helping them fix their mistakes or avoid potential mistakes. It is very solely pinpointed on them and their niche. The word niche is another word I should probably mention. Hyper-relevant means it's very targeted at them. And for a lot of businesses out there, they don't want to be hyper-relevant to a small percentage of the population because it means they'll cut people out. That's not the case. When you're hyper-relevant to someone, it doesn't mean you're cutting everyone else who doesn't fit that mold. It just means you're targeting the people that, need the most help or need the most value. Therefore, you're hyper-targeting them. But for everyone else, they see how well you're doing for that particular demographic, that particular customer avatar, going back to that one. Then they're able to see, you do a really good job for them. Why don't you do the same for me? You may not be who they're hyper-targeting for, but money is money. Come at me. Okay, maybe not come at me, but that's what I'm saying in regards to hyper-relevancy. And on that note, niching. So niching is the term where you are focusing your business, focusing your marketing, and focusing your problem solving for your business on a small subset of a subset of a subset of the population. Now, it does not mean that you're excluding everyone else when you come up with come up with solutions that solve your problems. But a good way to think about it is when you're coming up with, say, for example, products that are going to help struggling new mums who are usually younger, so between the ages of 18 and 25, who are young enough to remember what it was like being a kid, and they want to make sure that they're doing the best for their child. So what I've given you there is very much related to a custom avatar, which you can see in the card up above. But you can also tell that in regards to that niche, that it's expectant mothers, but it's also a very small population from the 18 to 25. It's a smaller population, again, who have the money to support whatever my solution to my problem is. It's another smaller niche for the ones that are actually going to take that action, for example. And those are the people that you're specifically targeting because you know your business can help them, but also you're targeting them because they are the people that need the help the most, for example. And then once people, outside of your business or potential customers see what you're doing for that particular niche, that, good vibes, those good reviews, those good ways that you're helping people are going to spread to the outer areas or the outer reaches of your niche. So then people are going to see what you do and probably buy your product or service because they see what you do for your people that you're directly focusing on. Or hyper niching, which is like hyper relevancy, which is the other word that we checked out in the other video that you'll see in the playlist. How are we all going? Why are you breathing out heavily over there, Eric? Why? What's so funny? I show you he's not laughing at me. I can't be sure of that, but we'll try. All right. You guys ready for... I am 3 words in and it's been 20 minutes. We're going to have fun with this one today. All right. You guys ready? Okay. So. Okay. Phrase. Context marketing. Context marketing is when you are creating content to suit a specific content. Let me do that again. Okay. Phrase. Context marketing. Context marketing is when you're creating marketing products, be it images, videos, podcasts, blogs, whatever types of content you're creating that fit a specific context within either your business or specific context where your marketing is being shown. So say, for example, Paris Fashion Week. The marketing leading up to it would be considered context marketing because you're creating marketing specifically for the context of that particular event. Yes, the ramifications of whatever happens at the, Paris Fashion Week are going to be lasting out, for the rest of the year till the event happens again, but also for years to come. But the reason why you're creating that marketing is for the context of that particular event. So the context around it gives you idea, but also it gives the audience idea as to, when you provide context and the reason surrounding the reason why you're providing value, it helps audiences understand where you're coming from. Because having a 15-second video is great for Facebook's point of view because you give them money for less time and you get more eyeballs on whatever product or service you're selling. But the context around that is lacking unless you actively provide visuals, that you provide text, that you provide a link for them to go to get more context about why they're making the decision that you are asking them to make. Why are they putting money towards your service or product? Why are they taking that next step? You need to provide the context around that marketing. And especially when you're doing marketing, like I said, for Paris Fashion Week, where it's all about, coming to our, Paris fashion show at whatever time. All the context is around that. You need to give people more reason as to why they should even bother coming to your event. Oh, you're going to be parading models around the catwalk. Cool. What other context is there? This is Paris Fashion Week. Well, you could say the context around that, so that would be either an article, or a context around that could be extra images, posts, what have you. It's a very broad, phrase, but the context around that could be that our Paris Fashion Week is different because we're showing real people. We're not showing stick figures, we're showing people of all different sizes, ethnicities, and abilities. And then you're going to get a whole lot of people on board. Because surprise. All right, that's my own little rant there. Let's move on to the next one. All right, moving on to the next one. All right. Phrase, experiential marketing. Oops. Okay. Phrase, experiential marketing. Experiential marketing is all about the experience of that's related to your brand. So say, for example, if you've ever been to, say, a museum, that would be experiential marketing for the artist who's showcasing their work. Experiential marketing, if you've ever been to, say, a show, so say, for example, down here we have the Melbourne show or the Geelong show. An example that I can think of in my head was Mikey, which is our public transport card system. So instead of paying money or buying a ticket, you have like a card that you boop on and boop off. And this was being introduced back in early 2010s, I think. And they had a large experiential marketing booth, which was essentially like two shipping containers, which had examples of the Mikey machines, how to use them, example Mikeys on actually how to touch them, all the information as to the Mikey and how it works, and also like how to set up your account online. And there was all these things that came along with it. But the reason was you showed people the physical experience, because people are always going to forget when you say something nice about them, or when they buy a dress from a company, for example. What they're going to remember is the experience of putting that dress on, and walking into the event, and everyone, stopping to look at them because of that, beautiful dress, for example. The experience is what people remember, as opposed to the physical thing that they actually get. People don't remember how you helped them, they just remember that you helped them. So in regard to experiential marketing, a lot of larger companies, say for example, recently the CES show, 2020 up in America somewhere, all the tech companies get a booth and they do experiential marketing by showcasing their latest what have you product. Usually products that we're not going to see for the next couple of years, and if they do work, they work poorly. But that's just my own cup of tea on that one. But the reason why that is so effective is because humans enjoy experience. We enjoy touching all of our senses, and we also enjoy all different types of learning. We are visual and auditory and kinesthetic people. So that's visually, seeing, hearing, and also touching. But if you combine all three into one type of event, people are going to remember that, and people are going to remember your event fondly, because 85% of people who experience an experiential event are more likely to purchase from the brand because they have that feeling associated with that brand. All right, guys, how are we feeling so far? All right. Okay. Let's get through this first section. Okay. Phrase, attention span. So attention span is the attention either your customer or your potential customer has on a particular topic or theme. So attention span in general is how much, how long your attention of your mind can concentrate on one thing. And we did mention this in our video myths live stream last week, so you can view that on our YouTube channel. And it is commonly thought that our attention spans are getting shorter because of the rise of technology and our notifications going off and that's not the case. Our attention spans are not getting shorter. It's just our relevant attention spans are getting shorter, because if we are not interested in what's being said, if something is not aimed or targeted directly at us, we will move on because we have the choice and freedom to do it. The image or video is in the palm of our hands. If we want to skip it, we can. We have the choice and we have the freedom to do so. So you have to remember that in regards to attention spans, a lot of these people are focusing on, 15-second video, 10-second video and such, because people are not caring about their brand, or people don't actually care what they can offer them because they are not, paying attention to what they can be offered with. So when it comes to attention spans, it's not about how long a person is actually focusing in on the video. Its attention spans is measured in how long they're actually going to stay to watch, say, for example, the video, how much value you're going to give them, how value points that you're consistently going to give them during the video that are actually going to help them succeed, and their attention, even though their attention may wane and they might look up and see what's going on around them, come back to your video, check how much is left on the video, start looking around your background as well as your face, and start looking around you. Humans' attention doesn't stay in one place. Humans like to, have a lot of things move around because, back in, ancient times, if we didn't have attention spans that were short, we could pay attention to something and make sure that we weren't going to get eaten or killed. So that's the same type of wiring that's happening nowadays. But because we have the freedom to move on, and we also have the testing and targeting techniques, that we're able to actually see how long people keep going, and we actually are able to see how much times people actually view the content. We're able to see how long people actually stay for the video or the image, or actually see if they click that button to buy the product, because we are able to actually test it nowadays, compared to when we used to, and we just used to make guesses. Like putting a print advertising. You had no idea how many people saw that advertising. So it's definitely different from when we did then. All right, moving on to the next one. For this one, guys, usually I take a break about halfway through to discuss the events that we have coming up for Video Confidence Coach. I am going to just mention one. And so the mention one, the only one that I'm going to mention to you guys today is the one that's happening tomorrow for us, which is the Let's Go Facebook Live workshop. We've got a couple of people, well, not a couple of people, we've got actually a fair few. So people interested in this event about streaming on their Facebook Live to help improve their business. So that'll be happening at the NAB from tomorrow at 12 to 2. And if you're able to make it, that would be great. And if not, do let me know, because we are looking to move our workshops to online courses, which is why we test them out on real people to see how they go, and then from there, we make decisions. So moving on back there, how are we going? We are doing well. Beautiful. All right. So our word. I'm awake. Our word is thumbnail. So a thumbnail is a still image that's usually on either the player or a visual representation of your video without the video being played. So a thumbnail, say for example, a YouTube is a good example of this, where the thumbnail is the image that's shown or the thing that people click to then start watching your video. The reason why thumbnails are important is because that's usually the visual representation of your video before anyone clicks, and about 45% of the reason people actually do click on your video to watch it is because of the thumbnail. Now, say for example, if you've checked out our from our Facebook or some of our live streams that we've done, and it comes up with an automatic thumbnail, that's the one where you can't exactly control which visual image it decides to represent your live stream as, and usually for me it turns out quite poorly. I kind of have a really weird look. Personally, I'm not offended. I'm like, ugh, fine. It draws people's eye, so be it. It doesn't look too great, but it will do. So those automatic thumbnails are generated by almighty, computer software behind the platform just deciding, let's just go with that one and put it up there, and that's the visual representation. But for your thumbnails, you want to make sure that the thumbnails, especially on YouTube, are ones that you can actually control, and you can update those and change those via like Photoshop or Canva. So we're going to finish up there. All right. Word. Our word is frame. So a frame of a video is what people can see inside the box. So that box can be a small box, like for say Instagram, where the box is only about that big. So that would be the frame that you have to work with. Or say, for example, like right now on say YouTube or Facebook or wherever you're watching this particular video, the frame is as big as this. And that's what the audience can see and what I have to make sure that I'm in for you guys to understand and see my body and see my language and hear me. Well, it's not like you can't hear me outside the frame, but that's how the frame works. And when, say, for example, you see older films, or when people talk about specifics in regards to film or video, where they talk about frames or frames per second is when we talk about the amount of frames that are being played every second for you to see a moving image. Because we used to have, say, 12 frames a second back in like the late 1800s was 12 frames a second. So you could see things moving, but they weren't too fluid. And then the industry standard became 24, where it was double that, and it worked out quite well. And nowadays, the industry standard is about a minimum of 30 frames per second, and then moving up to 60, then moving up to, 180, 260, it keeps going up. And as the technology improves, those frame rates will keep going higher and higher and higher, to the point where we won't be able to actually detect the difference between the frames, because they'll just move so smoothly. Cool. Don't tell me I freaked you out about the framed one. Thank you. Remember, if you have any words, make sure to comment them below. Okay. Make sure if you have any words that you want to know the meaning of, make sure you comment them below, and I'll do my best to reply to them in the comments. All right. Whew. Okay. So the next one. Word. Automation. Automation is the process of automating things so they are done by themselves. In marketing terms, automation can refer back to things being automatically responded to in, say, Facebook messages. Or when things are automatically done, it means without human involvement to get the process, the job, the plan, whatever, done. And say, for example, like the scheduling content that I do with me and also my clients, that is considered an automation, because even though we are setting up the post with all the right information and we're setting up the post with the right pieces of content, the platform itself is automating the process of posting that up on our behalf. So automation is used and will be continued to be used in the future, because essentially it's doing it by itself, and it means there'll be less human error and be more work for us to do that involves human eyes and human work that can be done automatically. All right. Okay. So the word is drop rate. So drop rate is a couple of two things. So when you're talking about live stream, the drop rate is the amount of frames that are being dropped every single second. Feel free to see our frames video about when we talk about frames. So the amount of frames that are being dropped per live stream, because the internet speed can't keep up and can't push out the right amount of frames to be able to be consistent. So that could be an internet speed issue or an internet quality issue. Make sure that you check that out. So that's a drop rate number one. And then drop rate number two, when you're talking about video marketing specifically, and I know about live streaming, when it talks to drop rate in regards to video marketing, is when you're using tools, say for example, like Wistia or Vidyard or any of those platforms that heavily track the people that actually start watching your videos. Drop rate is the amount of percentage of people that drop out of your videos before a certain point. So say for example, if I had a 5-minute video for people to join my online course, for example, that would be, and then say, for example, having about 30% of people drop out before the 10-second mark is considered a pretty decent drop rate. So people that start watching the video and then stop watching the video and then do something else. Having a 30% in the first 10 seconds is very decent, actually quite good numbers considering. And then say, for example, when you get to the 2.5 minute mark of that 5-minute video, the drop rate might push to say 50%. So after that 30% have dropped off, the other rest of that, 50% of that has dropped out and not continued watching the video. And then you have the rest of that percentage, math, I can't think of it right now. That is how much you have left that continues watching the rest of your video. But the drop rate, having a low drop rate is essential when doing video marketing for your business. Now, I'm not saying the lower the better. That doesn't automatically mean that's the right thing. But when you're talking about drop rate, it gives you an idea when it comes to actually seeing if your video is doing well enough to warrant, pushing it out to more people in an ad, for example. Or maybe you need to pull back and edit it a little bit so then people, you can lower that drop rate and people start watching your content more. All right. So it's 6 now, and I've got 20 minutes to go through the rest of these guys. I think we can do it. Okay. The word friction. So friction is, well, when two surfaces rub together because of hard things. I forgot what the scientific term is now that I think about it. But friction in regards to video marketing is when something is not being understood by the potential customer or viewer, or something is not being the value is clearly not being transcribed to the viewer. So say, for example, if there's friction in one stage of the customer journey, feel free to see that video, where people are getting to a certain point in the line of videos that you have to talk about a specific service that you provide, and they kind of, 70% of them stop the process and then just jump off, and then you never hear from them again. That is called a friction point, where the people have found something that either disagrees with them or something that they don't understand or don't clearly understand, to the point where they just think it's too hard. All right, I'm going to move on, because humans don't like confrontation. People don't like stuff that's hard to understand, and having that friction either in your business, in your website, in your social media planning, or anything like that, having that friction point, you're able to see that and understand that means that someone is not understanding what's going on. You're able to quell that friction and be able to get people moving on to the point where they actually buy from you. I don't entirely know what that sound was. Apologize for that. Okay, now we're talking about blocking. The word is blocking. So blocking can have two meanings. So in the production side of creating videos, pre-production being the part where you plan your video, production being the part where you actually shoot it, and then post-production being the part where you edit it. In actual production terms, blocking is where, especially you see it in TV shows. Say, for example, if you've ever seen a set or a working set where there's cameras, there's lights, there's sound, there's all these things, and the actors need to know where to stand, or once they start walking, they need to know where to stop. So blocking is a term where they have little marks on the ground that help people block people into a scene, or, put their bodies where they need to be for the specific shot. And you can do that in your business by having a specific spot where you set up your whatever you're setting up, for example, and you have a specific spot, you put tape on the ground, and that's called blocking, because you're looking at, say, for example, I'm looking at how I'm seen in the camera, and I position myself accordingly, and I'm making sure that in the mise en scene that it looks okay. So I am blocking myself and making sure that I'm in the right space for the camera. Blocking as in not blocking the camera. I'm not talking about that. Blocking as in where you fit inside the frame. And you can see our frame video up there. And when it comes in times in regards to post-production, blocking can also refer to in technological terms. Blocking is where you put the start titles and the end titles of your video. Now, for most social media videos, I don't recommend putting titles or blocks at the start of your video, because you've only got 10 seconds to win people over before they start clicking over. Even if they are interested in the value of your product or service or what you have to give to them, if they have to wait 10 seconds for you to give them something of value, they're more likely going to click off. So when it comes to blocking, as in putting those blocks of titles, I highly recommend clicking that first one off, having people start your video first 10 seconds in, and then you can maybe put a title in there, and then at the end having that block of text, of information, of whatever you're going to ask them to do next, having that block in there, and that can be blocking by putting everything in its place. Okay, how are we going, guys? Whew. All right, whoops. Phrase, top and tail. Now, the top and tailing is in regards to post-production. Now, I apologize if you've ever heard me use the term and I didn't explain myself. So top and tailing is when you have a video that you filmed, either you sat down or stand up, what have you, or even if it was just an off-the-cuff video, and you need to edit it to make it ready to be seen on social media, on your website, wherever it needs to be filmed. The first thing that is being done during the editing process, other than importing your footage, as in getting your footage into the program that you plan to actually edit with, topping and tailing is where you get the whole video, whole piece of footage, and you chop the end off and you chop the start off to be able to cut out any, say for example, any breathing or any, you getting yourself ready as you get ready to talk to the camera. Or maybe say for example, you've pressed the record button and you get yourself ready and then you start talking. That is like 5 or 6 seconds or even less of time that can easily be cut out, so that 10 seconds that you have to draw people into your video can be used wisely and actually providing value, as opposed to just seeing you press a button and start recording. And this also works the same for people who are recording or getting videos on other devices too. You need to be able to top and tail the start of it so it actually has the content that you need it to see. Okay. Okay, we've got inbound marketing. I have to read my own script here. Text. Yep. Okay. Phrase. Wait, what am I? Inbound marketing. Phrase. Inbound marketing. So inbound marketing relates heavily to context marketing. You can see the video up in the cards. So in regards to inbound marketing is marketing that's happening within your company, or say for example, if you're a very large company size, marketing that's not going out to potential customers or potential consumers, marketing that's happening inbound, as in inside of your company, to help inform people of say new policy changes or new updates to your terms and conditions, or maybe updates to super, or whatever people need to hear, or whatever people need to understand. Or say for example, if you have a lot of contractors or a lot of people that work for your business but don't actually work inside the same building, for example, to be able to have inbound marketing that helps them understand what the changes are that's going inside your company or your business is very important. And that relates heavily to the context marketing, where I said about where you don't just provide the image with absolutely no idea what's going on around that, making sure that people understand what the change is being made inside your company or the news that you're willing to share, and making sure that you provide the context around that is nice and clear for your audience, be it inside your company or outside your company. All right, my favorite one. Okay, word, Smarketing. And no, I didn't sneeze. So the word Smarketing is a form of sales and marketing smushed together to get to Smarketing. Now, to tell you the truth, I thought the point of marketing was to have sales, but I've heard this term a lot used on podcasts or in other, industry professionals that I listen to. So the term Smarketing is where you're getting sales or bringing sales into your company using your marketing, even though that I thought that was the point of marketing. Being able to link your sales and your marketing teams very closely together when we're talking corporate, or even when we're talking smaller businesses where you're doing the marketing yourself, being able to keep in mind that you're doing this to help bolster, potential customers or customers who already like you and love you, to actually keep that in mind when making sales or making marketing content for your company. So whenever you need to think of marketing, you need to think of Smarketing, sales and marketing together. Yeah. All right, autoplay. Okay. Word, autoplay. So autoplay is when either you jump into a website or you jump into some sort of platform and the video or the podcast or the piece of audio, whatever it is, automatically starts playing as soon as you enter the web page or wherever platform game you are already playing. Now, most of the time, I usually wouldn't recommend autoplay. The reason for that is that if any of you have ever been to, say, a news site usually, or any website that you're unfamiliar with, you jump on and all of a sudden you get an ad in full volume blasting out of your computer right at your face. And you're just like, where is it? Oh my God, make it stop, oh my God. and you spend like the first 5 seconds turning it off, or what most people do, a majority of people actually do, is just go, no, close the window. I don't need whatever that piece of information is that badly. Goodbye. So now that I've said that, I'm going to backtrack a little bit. Autoplaying is useful for, say, online courses or places where having an automated video that starts playing without audio. That's the important part. So it gets people's attention when they scroll down a screen and they see something moving. They're like, ooh, what's that? Okay, I'll start playing and listen to it. You can use that via Wistia and Vidyard by using those players. I'm not sponsored by them at all. It's just a product that I use to achieve that, where it starts auto-playing without any audio, so then people can see that motion that's happening on screen and they automatically click it to then start watching the video. Like, say, for example, on the YouTube mobile app, where they automatically do it now, where whenever you hover over that particular video, it starts playing the first 5 seconds in almost like a GIF format to start to attract your interest when it comes to actually seeing the type of videos and attract your eye to what's moving on screen and to see if that's the type of video you want. Okay, we have 10 minutes and I'm going to get through the next few. Okay, I think we're doing pretty well. Okay. Word, subtitles, or captions. So the difference between subtitles and captions is that subtitles are words that are impossibly being spoken or said in another language, and the subtitles are what's being translated into your native language. So say, for example, in, say, anime, which is Japanese animation. Say, for example, they're speaking in Japanese. I don't speak Japanese, so the subtitles reads what they are saying in English for me to understand and me to read. Captions, on the other hand, are usually reserved for text that's coming up on screen that is the same language as what is being spoken. So then you can read it and understand, because 85% of people who watch your content on mobile aren't actually watching with the sound on. And if you have a video where you're like me, you're talking to screen and they're not able to understand what's going on, they're more likely to click off, because why would they, go out, get some headphones or leave the room that they're in, that when they're in the comfortable spot or what have you, just to watch your content. So I highly recommend using captions in your video where possible, but I understand that it is an expense that comes along with video, no matter what process you have, except for subtitling or captioning on YouTube, which is a semi-free service because it is you uploading your video content to YouTube, and it automatically does it via auto transcription. The only problem being is that it only works 80% of the time, and if you have a heavy accent, it does not very good. It does not do well at all. So think about that when it comes to captions. But if you have a video that's going to sit on your website for a very long time, I highly recommend getting captions and using something like rev.com to be able to get the right type of captions and that look and are presented perfectly at about $1 per minute. Again, I'm not sponsored by them. It's just a product that I use a lot for me and my clients. Alfred, I do not have your time here. All right, guys, so we're almost done. And what I'm going to mention are the last two. Okay. File types, .str and Let me do that again. File types, .str and .json. So these type of file types are used for captions. So again, feel free to see our subtitles and captions video for that. But you can see when you create a file that is separate, so something that's not already baked into your video, where the captions that you're seeing on screen or for what's being said are actually inside the video file, so you can't separate them. The .str, SRT. I can't really get those two letters mixed around, so it's one of the two, and the .json, I can get that one for some reason, are the sidecar files, so the files that are along with your video that hold the information in regards to those captions. So that is something that you would give, say, for example, if you're uploading a video to Facebook, and you would upload that file type to Facebook to have the captions appear on the video that's being uploaded and presented to the world. Same thing for YouTube. YouTube automatically creates most of their captions within their own system, but you can, again, providing your own using, say, for example, a product like rev.com, which $1 per minute, and they don't usually fail me that often, where you have captions on screen that are nice, that are grammatically and punctuality correct. And those are usually in str or JSON file. The Rev provides a lot more different file types than just that one, but in regards to the file types that you would be using, it would be usually one of those two, unless you are using a proprietary software, or if you have something that is not very common that may require a specific type of captioning file for it, then it would be something other than those two that I just mentioned. All right, guys. So, did you have any words that I didn't touch on in today's live stream? Do let me know. And even if it's getting a bit hot. It's gotten a bit hot down here. Oh. But I want to thank you so much for coming. I want to thank you so much for joining us for today's live stream. Like I said, if you had any comments, if you had any things, I'm just checking that I haven't missed any particular comments. If there's anything that we've missed that you wanted us to cover in today's live stream, make sure you comment that below and I'll make sure I respond ASAP. All right, I'm going to finish there. I know it's just 55 minutes, so just 5 minutes shy of an hour, but that's when it comes to live streaming, we can go as long or as hard as we want. And I am a little bit tired from today. I usually wake up at around 5:30 to 6 a.m. and I was so exhausted this morning that I woke up at like 8:30 and then proceeded to go to work and do about 2 client meetings. But in that meantime, we are here. So I'm going to... G'day, Catherine. I'm going to leave you guys to it, and I really hope you enjoyed today's live stream. And if you have any questions, make sure you comment below. All right.